friends, and welcome to another Watch with Ray. 'Tis the season for shitty horror movies to be dropped in the middle of January. It's really funny. I want to talk about that really quick. This is an offshoot of the Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast, where we do reviews of normally new stuff in the theaters or on streaming. So it's just an offshoot, something we do like one-offs of. My New Year's resolution was do more reviews because I like doing them and I like seeing new movies in the theaters. So we try to tend to do, if we do something in the theater, even if it's like we did Exorcist Believer, we did a video review on it a YouTube review as opposed to doing it on the show because it is a new movie and so we don't want to spoil. We won't spoil on this podcast even though I really want for this episode want to spoil the fuck out of it, but I won't. So January has historically been the month that you drop your garbage in. That's what it's Hollywood's garbage dumpster fire. Like garbage can dumpster fire full of dirty diapers on fire. This is no exception. I will say that of the two that were released this month are garbage. But usually they have been there's a tendency to be more of them in January, a lot more horror movies, but they've been holding off on those because horror movies are actually selling. They're selling a lot more than they ever had in the past, which is good. That means that we're going to continue getting more and more good horror movies, like ones who people really want to fucking see. It's new, innovative shit. Like, Talk to Me, best fucking movie of last year. Hands down, best horror movie of last year. Hands down, can't wait to see what these guys do going forward. I don't give a shit what the people behind Night Swim or Founders Day fucking ever do in the future. I also didn't say. This is about Founders Day. This is a review of Founders Day. Founders Day, the director of Founders Day, is also the writer and stars in the movie. So, that is some low-budget shit. That's shit that they do and you do in like fucking like Neil Breen movies, man. I'm so excited. But I'm excited to talk to you about this movie. But I noticed when I was looking it up on IMDb, it was slated for 2023. Can you guess why it didn't get released in 2023? Beat for fucking beat, just like Thanksgiving. I'm coming out of the gate hot, like I'm angry at this movie. I'm really not. There are things that we're gonna talk about, but for the most part, no. I don't have too much to hate on. I have a lot to hate. I'm sorry. There's not much I'm like visibly angry about, I should say. Again, Founders Day 2023. I'm going to give you a little synopsis. I'm not going to get too far into it. I will say let's do the synopsis and I'll tell you why I think that it was not released when it should have been released. A small town is shaken by a series of ominous killings in the days leading up to a heated mayoral election. Okay, so yes, this town is plagued by a political, rivalry. We open the movie, and it is literally, November 4th. Can you guess why they didn't want to release it around the time it should have come out? What holiday is in fucking November? Thanksgiving. When did Thanksgiving get released? Literally the week after. I think it was the 11th or something like that. So it would have been put out the same time. And when I say beat for beat, we've got another slasher movie. This isn't a creature feature. This is a slasher movie. And it's so similar in comparison to Thanksgiving that even the killer is the last person you're going to think it is. Sorry. I didn't tell you who it was, but it's the last person you imagine it is. And actually, even that, there's a twist there, too. It's a dumb fucking twist. It's a real fucking dumb twist. But if you've seen Thanksgiving, you know what I'm talking about. And I believe we did a review on Thanksgiving, and holy fuck is that movie great. So to get into it, we have two factions that are warring, two political rivals. One is the Faulkner family. I forgot what the fucking, I guess I could look it up. Oh God, make me do work. Who is this gentleman? Because there's nobody in this movie. Literally, nobody. I could walk past half the people that were in this movie, and I'd be like, on the street, I go, hey, what's up? I wouldn't even know who. I'd be like, hey, can you bag those for me? None of the movies, this person, his name is Jace Bartok. He was fine. He was fine in it. We were saying, I said he looked like bargain bin Tim Heidecker. And Wayne said he looked like faux Dan Stevens. He was fine. He was fine. Everybody's fine in this movie. No one's horrible. There's just nobody that stands out because okay. First off, one of the things that I fucking hated about this movie, and I'm gonna have to put it out here instead of getting to my pros and cons, my little compliment sandwich, is because I couldn't fucking hear anything. We almost went, because again, we were the only two people in the movie theater, we almost went to the manager and said, can you turn the subtitles? It's just the two of us in there. I can't understand. We went into a fucking mumblecore movie. I'm like, I literally screamed out loud at one point, I don't know what's happening because I can't understand anybody. And then there's points where the soundtrack is so fucking loud, it was like my earballs were getting molested. I was like, Jesus, I couldn't hear the dialogue over the soundtrack. The soundtrack actually hurt my ears at certain points. It was so loud. The mixing was... There was no mixing. Mixing was me drunk thinking I was a DJ. That's what it was. Okay. Any hoozles. Mayor Gladwell has been in power for however long. They want to get her out of power. Cool. And Faulkner is... It doesn't fucking matter. It literally doesn't fucking matter. There is a scene. It is almost the first, prior to the credits. This is our opening scene. There is a conflict. There's a protesting scene of the two factions downtown. There are 14 people. That is all of the extras they could afford. 7 on one side, 7 on the other. At legit 8 o'clock at night in November on a school night. What? Allison and somebody. What was her girlfriend's name? Melissa. Allison and Melissa we think, are going to be our main protagonists. Allison will be. What the fuck was her name? I just literally forgot. Melissa gets dispatched immediately by this character in a judge's robe, mask with a red face, and a white wig attached to it. Character design, awesome. I love the mask. I love the wig. That's what actually, when we saw the trailer, I was stoked about. She gets dispatched and thrown over the fucking railing. And she also has a gavel. That's what they use to... The gavel has a knife at the end. Cool. It's like a switchblade knife. It comes out and it's cool. It's cool. Wish they did more with that. Yes, she gets dispatched. And that's pretty much... That is the impetus. That's what gets our story moving. From there... the members of the Gladwell and the Faulkner family are murdered one by one, pretty much. Once a conflict comes up between characters, pretty much Judge Guy comes in and kills them. With Thanksgiving, I hate to keep comparing, but I have to. Thanksgiving had a really cool mask, hood thing for the killer, but the killer had a history and had a lore with it. This, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I don't know what this has to do with anything. We don't describe Founders Day. We're sitting in the movie theater and I'm pretty sure Founders Day means the founder of the town. It'd been really good to get that information. We don't. Here's how fucked up this is. There's going to be very little pro in this. Sorry, guys. This is how fucked up this was. They kept saying Raleigh. The big city next to them was Raleigh. There's no fucking possibility it was like North Carolina. If there's another Raleigh, please put in the comments that I looked. I Googled Raleigh, not North Carolina. I could not find anything and we're talking like probably up in the New England area, because this looked like, for one, in November, it was freezing cold. You could see everybody's breath. At certain points, it looked like there was snow. And like all of the architecture and the houses and stuff like that looked like Cape Cod, like New England, sort of, even like Boston, sort of like, Salem, Massachusetts looking, or even like Maina's, that sort of thing, architecture. This didn't look like North Carolina. Let me just tell you that. Like, it didn't. So, I'm fucking confused. Okay, because yes, I know it does get colder down in certain areas, North Carolina. I fucking get it. But not in Raleigh. So, you can't, there's no spatial recognition of where, we have no location. So it also feels like I just made this up. Like, I have no way to center myself and ground myself in the world because I don't know where we're fucking at. Which works for some movies, but not when you're supposed to be in a fucking town. Like, I'm supposed to know where I'm at. And know why this person is killing people. And who this person is. We don't even get that backstory of, like, this is Uriah Stanton, who's the blah, 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 blah. We don't get that in this movie either. Alright, now my blood pressure's getting up. I don't need that. Okay, so. Pieces of people are getting picked off one by one. There is a kindly, like, so it also takes place, like, in a high school, for the most part. Similar to Thanksgiving, a lot of the killing happens in a high school. In this one, is a kindly, like, I'm gonna say, like, government and, like, civics teacher is, like, kind of like he's been on the town council the longest. He's like the kindly, everyone goes to him for advice, and like our main character Allison, after her girlfriend dies, he's like the kind of like the person, the mentor, the kind of person who's like looking out for her, taking, making sure she, like, checking in with her to make sure she's doing okay, because everyone else seems to be like like Ween and I were talking about, like, well, I'm glad that she's not getting, like, bullied because she's in a same-sex relationship. And she goes, no, she's just getting bullied because her girlfriend died. I'm like, oh, that's true. Jesus, like, God, the girl can't win. And so, because she's getting bullied by these two assholes. Like, there's just characters where, like, I don't understand what your motivation is. I don't understand why we got this couple that I kept calling Draco and Narcissa, because one looked like she was 45 years old. He looked like he was a good 30. And I had no idea what their motivation is to be such dicks. And not much of it makes sense on that end of things. So the story-wise, garbage. Okay, so if I've got to do a compliment sandwich on this, if that's the summary, buckle up. I'm gonna make this quick. So, pros and cons. Compliment sandwich. Pro. The kills are awesome. Some of the kills are really good. I say for the zero budget they have, fucking awesome. Some of them, there is some CGI blood, fine. But some of the kills that are, like, you legit see are practical are good. If you could watch a YouTube clip, like just clips of the kills, go for it. I think that's the most enjoyable. If you don't have to hear anybody fucking talking, perfect. I already kind of went into some of my cons. Couldn't hear anything. Soundtrack so fucking loud. As I said, the director, Erik Bloomquist, is also the he plays the assistant to the mayor. And he's also the writer and producer. But I have a feeling that this is a stable of actors that Erik Bloomquist has worked with, because it seems like everybody that's been in this movie have been in a whole bunch of his other movies. Oh, FYI, the Kindsley teacher is played by William Russ, the dad from Boy Meets World. So we were excited about that. He and Naomi Grace, who plays Allison, are probably the best actors in the movie. I have to give it to this group of actors because they obviously like horror. I mean, obviously Erik Bloomquist loves horror movies, and because for the most part his oeuvre or his catalog mostly looks like mostly low budget horror movies. This might be the highest budget he's had, or the least the most amount of exposure of a movie that he's had. He had a movie before. The movie that I'm thinking of is She Came from the Woods. I'm almost positive I saw that on Shudder. I never watched it, but I'm almost positive I saw it at one point on Shudder. But again, it's a lot of these same people. And that one's got William Sadler in it? What? Okay. I'm looking to see what it's got a 4.5, so never mind. But a lot of these people, I don't know who they are. But again, it's kind of like, Sam Raimi, Eli Roth. They all do, they all have their actors that they work with and they continue to work with as they go through. I mean, people who are in it, actors are also producers. So you can see some love, some heart and soul went into it. Okay. This storyline is garbage. I have no idea what is happening, why it's happening, besides the fact I couldn't hear what was happening and I couldn't understand the dialogue. Yes, my hearing is bad, and I probably need to go to movies that are closed captioning because I'm getting that bad. But I can usually catch enough where I know what the fuck is happening. I could not, neither could Ween, could understand what was being said. It was like mumblecore. I was like, why the fuck? Is this a fucking secret? Did you not want us to know what was happening? There's so many holes. There's so many plot holes you can fucking drive a truck through that you're like, what was the point of this? And again, go back to what I just said about we don't know who the killer is. We don't know what his motivation is. Same. Okay, so, yeah, it's bad. All right, bottom bun. The soundtrack, though. Slaps! This soundtrack slaps. That's where all this fucking money went for this movie, was the goddamn soundtrack. It is baller. I have listened to the soundtrack a whole fuck ton of times. I was trying to Shazam in the movie the soundtrack. Now, I will say, there are times where I really like the song. I did not need it at 11 in my ear, but it was, I left the theater going, I need this soundtrack. Now, there's a lot of poppy stuff on it, but I think you'll enjoy. I think most of the viewers would enjoy the soundtrack. So I'm going to say 10 out of 10 for the soundtrack. So if I'm doing my ratings, blood and gore, it's a 2. It's not super gory. It's not like I just reviewed Destroy All Neighbors. That's way more gorier than this. But when it does get, the practical's good. Spooky, scary, 1, even 0.5. I mean, it's not scary. There's nothing, there's jump scares that are, there's nothing. It's just a loud noise, and you're like, that is the cheapest fucking jump scare I've ever. There's one where the teacher opens an office door. It's all glass, and you're thinking, oh shit, there's gonna be something in it's like big loud sound. You think, oh, there's something in the glass, like there's a reflection. No, just a loud noise when he opened the door. Sex and nudity. I don't remember if there's no sex. There's no sex in it. I mean, this was some sexual references. I mean, I almost thought, if they toned down some of the blood, it could have been PG-13, personally. I don't remember a lot of swearing. But again, I couldn't fucking hear it, so I don't know. Cold Black Hearts. Oh, it was a fucking 1, guys. I had fun watching with Ween. And we were screaming and laughing in hysterics. But not because of the movie, because most of the time we couldn't fucking hear. And we were flabbergasted. Do I recommend this? Not in the theater. If you're wanting something at home, it's cold, it's February, I don't know when the fuck it's going to come out on streaming. Probably next month, because no one's seeing this movie. I would say, go for it. I mean, if you're bored at home and want to throw something on in the background, sure, like, I'm never gonna tell you. Well, I will probably tell you certain things. I'm sure I've said don't see this, but this, I mean, if it's free, don't pay for it. If it's free, go for it. If it's streaming on like Amazon or Paramount Plus or something, go for it. Can't hurt. All right, so that is Founders Day. Like I said, we will have a review of Destroy All Neighbors, which I will recommend. And we just finished up our Hitchcock month. So a change to our programming. We are releasing an episode every week, which allows us to talk about each movie a little longer. So you don't, we're not Destroy All Neighbors, Destroy All Earballs by listening to us for 3 hours at one point. You can listen to us at, an hour and a half at a time. But it gives us time to actually, like, especially with the Hitchcock, we found that we had so much to say and we really wanted to dig into these movies. So, we are going to release one a week. Hopefully, if you don't like it, let us know. I mean, I feel like we have more freedom to kind of do what we want and kind of say what all we need to say. Because both of us have been doing some research with these movies, and I want to be able to really get into it and talk in depth. This week we're going to release Murder from 1930, and then next week will be Young and Innocent, which we loved, which was from 1937. And then starting in February, it is Black History Month, so I don't have the list of the movies for that month. I know Attack the Block is one of them, Nanny, His House, and I cannot remember the other one. The black girl, the angry black girl and her monster. That's it. I just don't remember what order they're going in. But those are the 4 we've chosen for February, and we are doing Women's History Month for March. And I'm not even going to try to remember those ones. Like and subscribe. The link to the podcast is in the description, so take a listen. Hopefully you like. We love comments. We love feedback. Again, find us pretty much, links are in bio. All right. In the meantime, keep it spooky.